YouTube, what's going on? It's Matt, Kelvin, back, live stream, busy night. A little bit of a different stream tonight, you know what I'm saying? You know, my algorithm is, we gonna get a copyright that quick into the stream. But my algorithm is loaded with what happened today with the Ravens. And obviously, this channel is usually dedicated to like self improvement and all that, and that'll come up in this too because I'm gonna make like a little bit of a point a little bit later on. But I wanted to actually talk sports today, and obviously I'm simulcasting to Normal Guys Talk Sports. Shout out to my guy Ed. You know, he'd probably be mad I ain't throwing him on a broadcast, but this was just kind of spur of the moment as I had been up here at Shops of Legacy watching football at Legacy Hall. And yeah, so if you're a Ravens fan, obviously you know what happened earlier. You know what happened. Ravens got cooked. Ravens got cooked by the Kansas City Chiefs. Got cooked. Um, yeah, man. I have since Lamar Jackson been our quarterback. That has to be like the worst loss that the team has ever been through. Like I've never seen the Ravens just get the doors blown off like that. Really tough game to watch if you're a Ravens fan. Um, Ton of injuries. We came into the game with a ton of injuries. Um, and obviously I think Roquan got injured. I want to say Nate Wiggins freaking it looked like he broke his forearm or his elbow or something in that area. Nate Wiggins, like he got cracked, boy, by Pacheco. And obviously Lamar didn't finish the game, hamstring issue. Um, Lamar had a hamstring issue. Defensive line was pretty bad. Offensive line was pretty bad. Yeah, nah, that was one of the worst. That was one of the worst Ravens games. And mind you, obviously the fan base is mad. The fan base is heated. You know, but defense was trash. You know, we couldn't get any pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Felt like obviously Worthy, he's a really fast receiver for the Chiefs, but we got hit with a lot of big plays. Patty threw 4 touchdowns, which this was one of them games I was cheering. No, I was upset. I was upset, but I was cheering at the same time because I do have Patrick Mahomes in fantasy, even though I'm a Ravens fan. So, it was like like one of those like I'm happy, but you know what I'm saying? God damn. It was one of those I'm happy, but god damn. You know, these niggas getting fucked up. But yeah, so Lamar, hamstring. I think Nate Wiggins. I didn't look at no press conferences or nothing like that. But Nate Wiggins looks like he has some sort of arm injury, forearm, something happened to his arm. And yeah, this is a really bad loss. Like, man, you know, I don't want to say the Ravens season is over. I don't want to say the Ravens season is over, but it ain't looking good. And they only 3 games in, obviously. You had Cooper Rush throwing it away on 4th down. Derrick Henry, I think he had like 6 carries in the whole game, or 6 or 8. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And obviously, just talking to people, everybody is looking at John Harbaugh. Um, Kind of rightfully so, though, because regardless, obviously today wasn't Lamar's best game, but otherwise, he's actually had a decent season. And also, I feel like in that game, even with like the interception, I mean, he was under pressure the entire time. That's kind of what happens when you put a quarterback under pressure. They tend to make bad throws. Um, but yeah, really, really, you know, really hard to watch as, as a Ravens fan. You know, um, I want to say, man, it feels. The crazy part is, it feels like the entire defense is injured. I even think they said Marlon Humphrey was injured, even though he was getting burnt up the whole game. He was getting Marlon Humphrey was been getting fried the past couple weeks. They've been coming at his podcast, but Marlon been getting fried. You know, but a lot of people want John Harbaugh out of there. People really want Zach Orr out of there. People still hurt over Mike McDonald not us not retaining Mike McDonald in Baltimore. You know, also everybody feeling like we wasting the prime years of Lamar Jackson. Which I mean, sheesh. Granted, still a lot of football left. We actually don't know what's wrong with Lamar Jackson. He may be coming back next week or something like that. You know, Nate Wiggins probably out for the season. Like he had that out for the season look when they was carting that man off. Like my man left on a cart for an arm injury, so it's like he could walk. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, he must have been in some serious pain from that hit. He was, you know, get better, my guy. But yeah, very very tough game. But I also say this, you know, this right here is also a reason why like you shouldn't be so invested in a sports team per se because you know, a you look at the NFL, only one team is going to win it every year. One team. 31 other teams, fan base unhappy at the end of the year. One fan base happy. We waste so much. We do, and I'm included in this. We waste so much time. I think really it's a lot of us men, but we waste hella time watching sports. You know, even though I'm working on my YouTube channel, so it's not a totally loss, but I'm like, damn, I spent 3 hours watching a football game when I could have been doing something else, and the team got mollywop. So if you're out there and you're really hurt by this Ravens loss, you shouldn't take it that seriously. You got to remember that football is a child's game played by grown men, and they get paid millions of dollars to do this. You get paid zero to watch. I get paid zero to watch. You know, so while I guess I would be disappointed in what happened. It ain't even that serious, and to a certain extent, it really gave me less incentive to watch because really there is other stuff I should be doing. Just keeping it a stack. It's other stuff I should be doing with my time than worrying about football or who caught this or who did that. You know, it's just an interesting topic. And like I said, I just wanted to switch up the pod for the night. Like I said, it's social media is on fire about the Ravens right now. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, uh, man, if you're one of those people who watches is like all of the national media, boy, you're not gonna want to have your TV on tomorrow because the Ravens finna get fried by First Take, First Things First, Nick Wright, what's that? Skipping them, Shannon Sharp, they finna fry the Ravens bad, gonna hurt your feelings. But yeah, really bad game. And mind you, I've been a fan since I've been a fan of the Ravens since like 1998. I grew up in Baltimore. I've been a fan since 1998. Lived in Baltimore for both of the Super Bowls. So I have like, I have like a personal connection to that team. But I almost say this like, damn, is it time for me to not necessarily not watch anymore, but is it time for me to pay a little bit less attention to what the Ravens are doing? Will that put me one step closer to the goals and accomplishing stuff? It might. You know, it's 3 whole hours of my life I can't get back. But yeah, rough game, man. Rough game. Rough game. So obviously, it's a lot of questions. Obviously, and obviously, y'all may be watching the Cowboys game right now too. Cowboys game might be on. That's a nice car. Cowboys are playing right now. I think they're playing Packers. You know, I live in Dallas, so all of the bars, nightclubs, not bars, nightclubs, bars, group, communal restaurants got the game on right now. I ain't gonna say I'm not a Cowboys. Well, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I mean, I don't care to watch right now. You know, but yeah, rough day. But I'll say this all to say: your emotions should be not so deeply. invested in a sports team. 31 teams. No, there's 32 teams. One team, one fan base is happy at the end of all of it. So, and mind you, like I said, I literally just said it and I'm saying it again. This is a football is literally a child's game. It's played by grown men. Child's game played by grown men. You know, you can't you can't get your panties too much in a bunch. You can't get your panties too much in a bunch about a football team losing a game. You know, when there's people really in the world suffering, or when there's, you know, actually real things going on. You know, only reason I would want the Ravens to win is that I know people in Baltimore have a better attitude when the Ravens win. You know, Ravens lose, people in Baltimore have a bad attitude. So, and a lot of times, you know, considering the type of city Baltimore is, the Ravens is the only thing there. So a lot of times, city goes as the Ravens do. So that would be the only reason I would say I would really love to see the Ravens win outside of just, you know, fandom, you know, but in reality they ain't gotta win every game. They're not gonna win every game, obviously, you know. And obviously people are so upset because they're just always so close, but not quite there. But I'll also say this, you know, we also watching grown men literally pursue their dreams. And if you're more invested into another grown man's dream than you are your own, it might be time for us to start watching the game, if that's the case, you know. But yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be a long stream. It's not quite active, so I'm gonna cut this up, throw it in some shorts. You know, we got about 17 minutes. You know, not bad, not bad, not bad. So yeah, I'm probably, you know, I'm probably gonna take my Sundays back. I pretty, you know, I could do more productive shit, you know, other than watch football. So shout out to the Ravens. We out.